no longer the Pac-12.
It's Division I football.
That it still is.
Whatever happened to that guy? Dan Hawkins.
We talked to him a number of years ago. He was coaching some weird international, like he was coaching USA football.
I want to say he popped up in one of these weird spin-off U.S. leagues at some point, but I'm going to find out.
He had a spectacular fall from grace. Because, he had it rolling there at Boise, and then he went to Colorado.
Oh, there's
and
Kuiper.
Just kaput.
He is and has been the head coach for 6 years at UC Davis.
Oh, UC Davis, huh?
Really?
But as you mentioned, international, yes. He was the OC for the Vienna Vikings, the Karlstad Crusaders, also the Montreal Alouettes.
Yeah, he's bounced around. By the way,
what
is happening with that Kuiper hair?
Well, I don't know, but
is that blonde?
It's not bad. It's not. I mean, that does not look like a man who eats a piece of pumpkin pie every day. I'll tell you that. He looks pretty good. He doesn't look like he's aged. I think he's dyeing it. Because, he had the white wing tip things.
But now he's dyeing it blonde? But he's got natural dark hair.
But I don't think he does. He's got the white wingtips on the side.
That's not white. That's blonde.
Well, I know. I'm saying if he did not dye his hair, it would be black on top and then the white things on the side.
Yes.
And so I think what he's doing there is he is hiding that.
This is I don't know if you want to call it a trick. This is a technique that women use. My mother has used this.
Yes.
My mom was a brunette. As she started to get grayer,
correct,
you put some highlights in that kind of blend the gray with the
that is what my wife
the blonde,
does.
And then eventually you kind of get more of that color. In probably 3 or 4 years, Mel will be mostly that color.
All I know is I find it alarming. When I saw his head on TV with the darkness of his skin, that he's gone with the full George Hamilton tan, it was jarring to me. I was not prepared for it.
Yeah, he looks better than he used to, I gotta say.
You like this version of Mel Kiper,
I don't think it's horrible. You had prepared me for something god-awful, but it
Suddenly
wasn't.
He's buying what Mel's selling.
Yeah, he's fine. I mean, and I found out that he eats basically a pie a day.
Are you a little turned on by Mel Kiper right now?
A little bit.
All right.
A little bit.
I understand.
He's more handsome than Todd McShay.
Well, you do like, who's it? Was it Judy Garland you had a thing for?
Judy Garland?
Dame
Julie Andrews.
Dame Julie Andrews,
Come on, man.
You like the old. So
the one and only.
Yeah, Mel's got a little something for you. All right. Let's see where we're going with this.
We've got the college football playoff news today that ESPN has kept the rights through 2031-32.
Yeah.
So ESPN has them through 2026. They have now signed a 6-year extension past 2026 to 2032.
And they said that this was in agreement. A month ago, ESPN was just waiting for them to kind of get their S together and finalize the format.
Well, I don't know who else was even in on the bidding.
That was the thing, is that ESPN was trying to posture a little bit and saying, hey, we can take the offer off the table, and then the idea was maybe Fox would get involved in it, but it wasn't going anywhere. It was just ESPN rattling some sabers a little bit, and now you got, at least for the time being, you got the 2 years of the 12, and then it's going to go to 14.
Yeah, it'll go to 14, but it might go to 16.
Yeah, maybe eventually. So we'll see.
But they're saying $1.3 billion a year.
Yeah.
On this bad boy.
And they just, you get more games, and that's why you get an increase in live sports, and that's a big old chunk of change, which I can't wait for the lawsuits to keep coming down while college football tries to still claim amateurism while just signing an $8 billion contract. But I do enjoy that most people involved in the NCAA are not trying to do we're amateurs and this isn't about money. They're just trying to find a softer landing spot for it. Because once you start signing $8 billion contracts, it's kind of
it's funny to see
out the window
how the rhetoric has shifted.
Yes, they're no longer doing the student athlete thing. They're just like, well, let's. Because the new one now that they're pivoting to is, the other sports, we have to take care of the other sports. And yes, those are amateur sports, but football, basketball, not so much. So they're just trying to pivot, and I understand why, but the amount of money that's coming in here it's just amazing to see where college football has come. Because it wasn't that long ago that we were still doing 2 teams to play that we voted on at the end, and that was the way we came up with our national champion.
BYU, baby.
Hey, 1984.
You think Mark Emmert is happy he got out?
I think he...
Is anybody happier to be retired than Mark Emmert?
I think he's happy with his paycheck, and yes, I think he's very, very happy.
The timing was good.
The timing was good.
Little Mark Emmert?
I don't think anyone wants to try to oversee this and bring it into whatever new realm this is going to. This is beyond chaotic. It just is.
So we've got a statement from the Pac-12 conference.
AKA the Pac-2.
Well, I don't know about you, but these two, I feel like they're kind of embarrassing themselves a little bit.
I'm very confident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At this point.
Well, I don't know what else there is to do, but
Well, here's what they should hire me. I'll be their consultant.
so you're doing.
Okay.
So I mean, you got a lot of hats.
A lot of
that you're-
irons in the fire,
yeah.
but I can do it.
Okay.
And here's all they need to know.
Yeah.
Here's all I would tell them. Thank you for having me here. Do you have any coffee? Black, please. Thank you. Here's my advice to you as your advisor. Shut up.
Stay quiet.
Don't say anything.
Yeah.
Keep a low profile. No one cares what you think right now. Right now, keyword right now.
No.
Work behind the scenes as hard as you possibly can to find a conference, to land on your feet by 2026.
Yeah.
Okay, and shut up about it. No leaks. Do everything you can behind closed doors. That's the best you can do because no one wants to hear from you right now.
Yeah.
No one cares.
You're,
That's unfortunate. It really is kind of sad.
it is, but it's starting.
They
to,
got left behind and no one cares.
And anytime you raise your voice now, it just falls on deaf ears.
Yeah,
and
people are just like, "What?
Yeah, you become
You
a
again?"
punching bag.
And I think their idea is like, well, we're just trying to stay, keep top of mind and don't forget about it. That it's not working. That doesn't work. It just doesn't.
It's tough at this point.
So they said the Pac-12 is pleased with the college football playoff continuing to grow as an incredible sporting event for our student athletes and fans. The new agreement to continue on ESPN platforms provides excellent exposure opportunities for Oregon State and Washington State football programs to succeed on the biggest stage in college sports.
Well, here's the unfortunate, part of that is under the new distribution model, which is going to go to 14, it's expected. The ACC and the Big 12 get left behind, but it gets worse. So the SEC and the Big 10, right? They are going to go from they were making $5.5 million per school in this current model of the college football playoff payout. Did you see what the new one is going to be?
You mean the splits?
The splits.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we talked about that while you were gone.
Okay, so they went from $5.5 million in the Big 10 and the SEC. They're now going to get 21 per year.
Right.
Per school. Ouch. The ACC is going to get 13. The Big 12 is going to get 12. Notre Dame is expected to get more than 12. And there's going to supposedly be an incentive for Notre Dame. Some considerations there. I still think eventually they end up in the Big 10. But the college football participation bonuses for any of the other leagues, there isn't going to be a real increase. It's going to go from 1.5 to 1.8. So unfortunately now that's where Washington State and Oregon State fall, and
But the ACC is about ready to crumble.
Yeah.
Because Clemson filed a lawsuit today and Florida State soon, and they're going to get out of that grant of rights.
Yeah.
And their school's going to be leaving the ACC, and that could just be it right there, is that you're eventually in the ACC. Not that that's great, but it's better than what you have now, and that's with Cal and Stanford and those schools.
$12 million is better than 1.8.
Because, I mean, where would those leagues go if they had, say, 2 to 4 openings? Like, who else would they take at the ACC?
I don't know.
I mean,
you're
you're going right at Oregon State and Washington State.
I would think so.
Or 2 of them.
I would hope so. That.
Yeah, I would hope. If they didn't, boy, that's trouble.
Yes. I mean, if at this point, it's been alarming how no one has had any interest in you. But if the ACC falls apart and they need to scoop up 4, 5, 6 teams, and you're not one of them, that would be, boy, you want to talk about getting red rovered and no one picking you. That would be beyond brutal. But yeah, I think that you're right. All you can do is at this point is wait out the 2 years and hope that you find a way into the ACC or the Big 12. Because if you end up in the Mountain West or you end up in the Pac West or whatever sort of expansion that is, it's just you're dooming yourself to the kids' table for the rest of existence.
Wait, I have one more piece of advice before I leave with my coffee for for the constituents who hired me, Washington State and Oregon State. Okay, my first piece of advice was shut up and work your way to the ACC as best you can.
Yeah.
Behind closed doors. Okay. Second piece of advice, call the Saudis.
Oh, I like that.
They've got a lot of money.
Yeah, the Saudis have been trying to get their hands into American sports.
Call the Saudis, man.
Yeah,
that could flip the script on this whole model.
That would be the single greatest thing if we had the live conference. Just, you know what? And like when the SC or when the ACC breaks up, get involved in that.
Yep.
Clemson, invite Clemson and Florida State and everyone else to the party too.
Just outspending everybody.
Just offer them $100 million a year. See what happens.
And I get 2%.
I like it. I like that. It's a tasty little
I would
cut.
maybe settle for 1.
2% finder's fee.
That's right. All right. There you go. College football playoff. Oh, one other note. One other notable notation.
Mm-hmm.
The college football playoff championship game will air on ESPN each of the next 2 seasons. But when this new extension kicks in 2027, it will air on ABC.
Yeah.
So they got smart and put it on their big network.
Bigger numbers.
All right. That's the news.